When it comes to creative, as we know, it can be subjective, right? So me as the creative or me as the designer, I may have a brilliant idea and I present that to you, the client, and it may be different than what you were anticipating or expecting or envisioning, because you're allowed to have that subjective opinion and view, just like me, the designer, or I'm allowed to have my idea for how to solve that problem. And those things aren't always aligned initially. And so I think it's important for everyone to understand that sometimes the first go, we could share some ideas and it's like, this is perfect, let's go, just move on to the next step. Other times it's about alignment, and that can be part of the process. I think it is important to have constant communication. It's like, okay, we have an idea, here's the direction we think we're going. But really first, before you get there, it's about asking really good questions. It's about gathering the right data. It's about talking to all the stakeholders who are involved in the process, because we want to hear from everyone's input, right? At a company, there may be a board of directors who all have different ideas of what they want that brand to be. We need to make sure we extract those ideas and those thoughts from all the stakeholders, because that should go into influencing what the brand becomes. That way, when we come back to you with some ideas and we present, here is the big idea, or here are some ideas, they come from somewhere of meaning and purpose. They're not just coming from nowhere at that point. And that iterative process in design or any kind of creative project, that iterative process of something is creative, but something is created, but it's coming from somewhere. It has meaning, it has purpose. And ultimately, the idea is more likely to be widely accepted if you take that approach. Both there's an iterative approach and that there's purpose and meaning, because we've gathered information, we've talked to people, we've listened. That's all important, and that helps, I believe, create super high quality work. And so it is important. Open communication, constant communication, I think is key. Sometimes we have to kind of take a pause at the beginning and ask the question, what level of involvement would you like to have in this project or in this campaign or in our engagement and working together? Are you wanting to be super involved, highly collaborative, or are you looking for us to take something and sort of get it done, or are you trusting our team to take this thing and to run with it and to self-manage? They're all different sort of situations in terms of how people prefer to work together. What I've learned is when you don't clarify that up front, then it's easy for either one of us to kind of get off track for expectations. So if we know that you want to be highly collaborative, you want to be in the planning workshops, you want to be in the brainstorm sessions, you have specific ideas that you want to make sure are communicated and are realized in the final product, then we need to know that so we can plan for that and build that into the process. Other cases, you might say, I trust you guys. You guys know what you're doing. I'm going to trust you to take this part of it. Now, here are the requirements, right? Here's the guide. Here's the brand. Here's what you need to follow. But I'm trusting you. I found that when I work with my team, I give my team a lot of trust. That can be hard sometimes, but I think it's important to really see what people can do and to see people's talents truly flourish. Is that you have to trust people. We have to give them that ability to see what they can do. That's a challenge for anyone in any business, in any organization, in any type of leadership role. Is you want to get to a place where you can fully trust your team. Sometimes you get there too early because you're so ready to be in that place where it's like you can have your team work and everyone understands what they're supposed to do, but you get there too early. And what I mean by that is maybe you didn't fully explain the vision, you didn't fully explain the expectations and the process. Other people never relinquish that control. I've seen that on the opposite side. I've seen where business leaders micromanage because they don't trust, or micromanage because they feel the need to control the outcomes of everything that's happening. That's not a good place to be. So there's somewhere in between, and you want to get to a place where you are feeling confident that the people you're working with are all on the same page with what we're trying to accomplish and the process to get there. And that takes time and patience. So what I've seen, at least for me, in an agency setting over the last 15 years is I sort of ebb and flow in that way. There isn't a place, I've never been in a place where I'm like constantly in it micromanage mode. That's not my style anyways. And then I've never been in a place where I've been able to fully relinquish sort of day-to-day operations either, because things change. It's either gonna be the people we're working with change, our project complexities change, what we're being asked to do, or there's so many variables that it's a constant ebb and flow. So we will get to times at Brasco where the team is really just in sync and we have the right people and we have the experience that we need and everyone's communicating and things are really moving. And then there'll be one or two variables that'll come in and change that dynamic, and it isn't on any one person. It's not a, oh, why did you, it's not that kind of thing. It's just something happens that changes the dynamic, that requires leadership to then make adjustments. And so I think you have to do that. And it's from any role at any company. It doesn't matter if you're in a leadership role. It doesn't matter if you are, the person answering the phones at the front desk. You have to be aware of the dynamic of the workings of the company operationally, and you've got to play your role just like a basketball team. Everybody has their role. Everyone wants to be the shooter. Everybody wants to be the man on the team. The best teams are the ones where everyone knows their role. This guy's the defender. This guy's the shooter. This guy knows that he's going to control the low post. It's the same thing, I believe, in a company, except on a larger scale, especially in a larger company, where this is where you see large corporations have the same problems that small companies have at a mass scale that's actually harder to control because they have so many different moving parts. At least at a smaller company, when we're 25, 30 people, we can make a few small adjustments and it goes a long way. And everyone's able to contribute and see their value, see their work. At a large company, fixing those problems takes longer because there's more people involved. I'm sure someone's written a book that I haven't read that I need to read on it that is on the topic of trust in organizations.